With tax revenues up and significant investments from the federal government coming in, South Dakota state lawmakers are taking a long, hard look at dropping the sales tax rate from 4.5% to 4%.
Now, the rationale behind that idea has a long-standing history here in the state. State House reporter Austin Goss joins us live from the state capitol tonight. Austin.
Good evening, Brian and Andrea. There are a lot of different proposals on the table for this year as to how we should spend all of this money that's available, and that ranges from everything from water projects to improvement to higher education and campuses. However, some lawmakers want to put some money back into people's pockets. State Representative Chris Carr, co-chair of the Joint Committee on Appropriations, says it's time to drop the state sales tax rate from 4.5% to 4%.
So we're looking at these revenues coming in, and we got enough revenue coming in at one time that hasn't been earmarked, that it allows us to have this conversation and say, you know what, we can reduce the sales tax going forward.
Carr's call to drop the sales tax rate comes as a result of a promise that was made by the legislature in 2016 to decrease the sales tax by 0.5% in the event that revenues ever reached a certain point. Carr says that we have reached that point.
There was an amendment that was brought to help sell this to say if we ever start capturing the online sales tax, that there would be a mechanism to start ratcheting this back and get it back down to 4. The problem is the language that was in there was so ambiguous that it really was unclear of what we're actually measuring.
And Republican House lawmakers say that they are open to the idea.
Obviously, we'll take a look at it. It's all part of the discussion of getting to the finish line, like I talked about earlier. And ultimately, if it's something that, is considered, have to be considered by everyone.
But Democrats say there are likely better places for that cut to be applied to.
We could afford to cut taxes in South Dakota. It's a question of which ones do we want to cut. So the Republican preference seems to be to move the overall sales tax rate from 4.5 to 4%. The Democratic approach has been what we should do is we should take the sales tax off of grocery store food at the state level.
Now, in the event that the sales tax were to be cut, or really any tax was cut at all, it would likely go into effect on July 1st of this year. Live in Pierre, Austin Goss, Dakota News Now.
All right.